Look, I'm just gonna come clean. I have an addiction. I am addicted to making videos about insane weirdos in sports. I have been taking the proper steps. I've been seeing counseling. I've been doing everything they've given me advice on. And it is hard, but it's been getting better. The main thing that's been helping the most is just avoiding triggers that could possibly lead me back down that road. As long as I don't accidentally stumble upon a crazy guy, maybe a relief pitcher who slaps himself in the face before every time he goes up, then I think I can do this. Wait, hold that thought. My boss just sent me a message. Let me check this. Oh no. Tyler Phillips is the guy we're talking about today, and yeah, he definitely deserves his own video. This guy is nuts. As I just mentioned, he has a habit of slapping himself in the face, like pretty hard, every time he goes up to pitch. And while it's not necessarily common, he's not the only guy that's ever taken a couple slaps to get himself hyped up for a game. The most famous example is probably Jacksonville Jaguars defensive lineman John Henderson, who has this clip of having this guy smack him in the face pretty good a couple times.
Oh, Joe, that ain't good enough. Come on, Joe. Thank you, baby. Thank you.
The Jags actually once branded him as the only NFL player in history to ask to be slapped in the face.
Big John, the big slap. I never heard of it before. I've never heard of it since. And it might be the only guy in NFL history to want, need, ask for, beg for, to be hit across the face.
There are two key differences here though. Obviously the first one is that Tyler is doing it to himself instead of having someone else slap him. And he's hitting himself hard enough on command for his face to still be hot even after he's done pitching. See, if you have someone else slap you, especially if they're your friend or someone you know, they're probably not gonna try to hurt you. So he just cuts out the middleman and does it himself. That way he can get hit as hard as he wants. And the second one is that Henderson is doing this behind closed doors with time to spare before it's go time. Phillips is doing this in full view of everyone and the cameras right before he goes up. He wants everyone to know that he's angry, and like a drunk stepdad, he's gonna take it out on the first person he sees. Now, what is the method behind the madness here? Well, in his own words, he's just a bit crazy.
I asked him, quote, "What's the purpose?" He said, "I'm just a little crazy." He continued, "Those guys in the box with a stick in their hand, I don't like them. It triggers a little fight or flight and it pisses me off immediately."
I don't know why, but just as a pitcher saying you just don't like batters and they piss you off is just, it's so funny. Now, because this is like his thing now, he has accepted slaps from other people on occasion too, such as this clip right here. And I gotta say, he kind of gave it to him. That was a pretty good one. And when you mix together his intense demeanor, the self-induced slapping, and Cold Stone Steve Austin's entrance music, it's one of the hardest walkouts ever, I gotta admit. And since we're on the topic of his intense demeanor, when he's on the field, he holds the intensity of Dexter. He's just completely disassociated and RBFing to the max. Like, look at this guy. This is not a sane man. And he doesn't turn it off for interviews either.
When did you know you were going in tonight?
When they call down, I'm ready. They call down, I'm pissed off, I'm ready to go.
Why do you get so pissed off?
I don't like hitters.
How did you get through that ninth?
Throw the ball over the plate.
How long does it take you to cool down after a win?
I never cool down.
And the slapping, what was the level of slapping when you came on?
Pretty hard, my face is hot. Yeah.
What has this organization helped you unlock for your career this year?
I think just be yourself. Go out there, do what's you. Whatever's going to make you successful, that's what you do. And this team, I see it. We're a lot of young guys, and when you play for each other, have some fun with it, that's what you got to do.
Great win. You're scaring me. Go to the clubhouse. Thank you very much.
What always gets me about this clip is just the dichotomy of saying, I never cool down, I'm always pissed off, and then immediately after that saying, just go out there, be yourself, and have fun. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with him. If I was interviewing a guy and I got that intense of a level of mixed messages, I'd probably also be pretty scared. I mean, this is the same guy that called one of the craziest baseball fights in the last 20 years electric.
I got no words. That's electric. I don't know what he's putting his arms up for. He just got decked.
which I mean, to be fair, it was a pretty crazy and iconic fight. Now, contrary to what he says, he does cool down sometimes. I mean, he is a human being at the end of the day. He enjoys a good embrace during an emotional moment just like the rest of us. A very good embrace, like he's waiting to be carried off into the sunset. And he may have a lot of hate in his heart for batters, but he doesn't hate all of them. And in fact, he really respects really good ones.
Something that I always remember, I can't say I have his number, but I have gotten Shohei out 5 times. That is a cool one to have under the belt. And yeah, hopefully I get to keep facing him to keep track of that. A lot of respect for that guy.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman. I can't get him out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. God.
I understand that's like most guys.
2 guys. A lot of respect for both of those guys.
Now, all that to basically say that he is capable of turning it off and being a normal, chill dude. Sometimes. But what if I told you that he also sneakily has a very obvious villain origin story, like the Junkler? Because somehow we've gone this long without trying to really psychoanalyze this guy. Born in South Jersey, Phillips grew up to be a Phillies fan. And wouldn't you know, he made his MLB debut for his childhood dream team in 2024. And aside from sneaking in a random complete game shutout with them, he was pretty terrible in 7 games as a Philly in 2024. That has to be such a strange, heartbreaking feeling, being really bad for your childhood team. But he very clearly had talent, and that's why the Miami Marlins traded for him. I would guess that at first he didn't really want to be a Marlin. I mean, who does? Am I right, boys? Hey, go Padres. But I mean, like, gearing up for year 2 with his boyhood team, working hard in spring training to redeem himself, and then he's flipped to a last place division rival. You can tell he's still, even now, kind of heartbroken by leaving the Phillies. It still chokes him up in interviews.
End it with Tyler, your message to the fan.
I'm sorry, I was getting emotional. Yeah.
Why is that?
I got over here, 10 years in the minor leagues. Pitch for my dream team. Come over here. It's tough. I don't know. It's. I come over here, didn't know what to expect, and these guys gave me one of the best seasons I could ever have.
However, the Marlins seem to be a perfect fit. The Marlins, in his own words more than once, prioritize creating an environment that lets him find success his own way. And for a guy who uses phrases like wild animal and just a little crazy to describe himself, he seems like he needs that room to be a little off the wall and get the job done his own way. Like a Monster Energy can, the beast was unleashed, on and off the mound. He had a fantastic season out of the Marlins bullpen in 2025 as one of the team's best run preventers. And the Marlins finished in 3rd place in their division this last year and improved by 17 wins. They did this by finding players like Tyler and making them better. And while he may be the only psycho with a self-slapping routine, he's a perfect case in point example of what this team did right. Most of his advanced stats took huge jumps in just 1 year, most notably his expected ERA, ground ball rate, and barrel rate. In other words, he became a lot harder to hit off of, and that's a good thing for him because, he really hates those guys in the box with sticks. It's also pretty objectively cool that a team as data-driven as the Marlins can still get the most out of and embrace a guy this against the grain on the mound. Being in a room full of Tylers is like trying to play an old Pokemon game and get anywhere. If you make eye contact, you have to fight, and there is no saying no. A lot of people often associate the increased emphasis on teams being so analytically driven in baseball with dehumanizing the sport. So it is pretty interesting that one of the game's most analytical teams just did the exact opposite in essence. In this interview, he gives a really good answer to the question, what's making him so successful with the Marlins?
What's allowed you to be so successful here?
Let me be myself. Nobody over there told me I couldn't be myself, but it's kind of, you're walking on eggshells. You got a lot of vets in the clubhouse. It's sad. They didn't tell me what to do, but it's like going to a new job and not knowing what you can do, what you can say, what you can't say. Kind of speak when you're spoken to. And here, I should be myself, have some fun. If I go out there and I'm throwing the ball scared, I'm going to get hit around and I'm going to lose my job. And last year, I was throwing the ball scared at the end of the year. I was worried about who was in the box. I was worried about pleasing fans, pleasing my teammates, being a good rookie, whatever it was. I don't care anymore. I'm here trying to help my team win. I go out there. They're just trying to take the money out of my pocket, trying to ruin my livelihood, so trying to keep it.
In my mind, this shows that the Phillies may have been his dream team, but for him at least, and the way he is, it just wasn't a perfect fit. But even after finding a perfect spot for him to blossom, being a successful pitcher, and become a cult hero through his lovably crazy antics, he still manages to beef with the Phillies to this day. On September 23rd, 2025, Phillips ends the 5th inning against the Phillies by snagging a ball a few inches away from blowing his smooth off. And because he's Tyler Phillips, he angrily walks off the mound with a completely blank stare before eventually chucking the ball behind his back, somewhat towards the guy who hit the ball, which led to a bit of an argument. Honestly, it didn't really look like a real angry argument or anything. They were just kind of talking about it, and it looked like at one point he said he thought he was gonna die. If something can scare Tyler Phillips, it must have been something pretty big. A lot of people jump to the conclusion that he was intentionally trying to throw it at him, but in this interview he says no, obviously he wasn't doing that. He may be a firecracker, but he's not like an unreasonable person.
What kind of happened as you were walking off the mound? Like, it seemed like you threw the ball back. Like,
I just threw it behind my back, trying to look cool, I guess. I don't know. I like to be fired up, you know. Didn't know he was over there. Flipped it behind my back. Saw him like talking to the bat boy. I was like, he probably thinks I just threw that at him. I like Homer. He's always been a good dude to me. Always been great. So figured I'd go over, make some joke with him. Told him like, hey, you're trying to kill me, dog. Like a good swing, something like that. No, it's not. What's the point of me like trying to throw the ball at him right there?
He knows that when you make contact with a ball, you're not thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna hit this right back at the pitcher and try to kill him. Like that's not a thing you can do. To wrap this up though, Tyler is just 28 years old. He still has plenty of time to get better, be more fun, have more strange antics, and make more of an impact for a Marlins team on the rise. But we do have to end this video with the brief mention of how Phillips ended his 2025 season. The antithesis of the 2025 Marlins finding success with players most non-diehard baseball fans had never heard of were the 2025 Mets, who didn't make playoffs, having a team with Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto on it. And the guy who got the final out to end the Mets season on the last day of the year was Tyler Phillips. Francisco Lindor is on a $341 million contract. Tyler Phillips has made under $1 million in his career so far. Phillips was the guy who came out victorious in this situation with the Mets season on the line. I had to mention that because my boss is a Mets fan. Ha ha ha. With so much career ahead of him and room to grow, I might have to revisit the Tyler Phillips story another day. But me personally, I'm excited to see where he goes from here and how much weirder he can get. I've said it in pretty much every video I've made on a weirdo sports player, but he is truly himself, and I really hope no one tries to take that away from him. Because at the end of the day, if he's getting the job done, who cares how he does it? And in my opinion, it makes the game more fun to watch. It's more entertaining. So you keep doing you, Tyler Phillips, and I wish you luck on the rest of your career. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you liked it, like and subscribe to the channel and put something in the comments. You can put anything, honestly, just helps boost us in the algorithm. But if you do want to put something specific, let me know some of your favorite sports weirdos. Maybe I'll make a video on them someday. Anyways, have a lovely day, gamers. Peace.